Summer loving had me a blast.
Summer loving happened so fast.
I met a girl crazy for me.
Met a boy cute as can be.
Summer days drifting away to other summer nights.
Tell me more, what does he have
She swam by me, she got a cramp.
He went by me, got me so damn.
I saved her life, she nearly drowned.
He showed up, splashing around.
Summer sun, something's begun, but other summer nights.
Tell me more, was it love at first sight?
Tell me more. Did she put up a fight?
Took a bowling in the arcade.
We went strolling, drank lemonade.
We made out under the dive.
Boys down, children cry.
Summer fling don't mean a thing, but other summer nights.
Tell me more, but you don't gotta pay.
Tell me more, 'cause it sounds like a drag. He got friendly, holding my hand. Well, she got friendly, down in the sand. He was sweet, just under 10.
She was good, you know what I mean.
Summer heat, boy, no me, but
Other summer nights.
tell me more, I'm stuck in his head.
Tell me more, she gave me a friend.
It turned cold, that's where it ends.
So I told her we'd still be friends.
Then we made our true love vow.
Wonder what she's doing now. Summer dreams ripped at seams, but those summer
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Who doesn't love Grace? I mean, I saw a lot of you got a little distracted because we have a prompt of telling us where you're dialing in from, what emoji represents your current state this summer, and whether or not you're a member of the Sonder Fam. So if you haven't done that, please do that because everyone just had that beat of nostalgia, right? Like this is such a fun movie, but my favorite memory is in third grade. We used to do these plays and performances, and they would have the boys and the girls sing the song, but they would change the lyrics because a couple of lines are a little inappropriate. But anyways, that's my love letter to Greece. But welcome, you are in for such a treat tonight. I tried to pull some of my favorite activities to do in summer. A little bit is lighter. Some of it is obviously a little heavy because we like to dig deep here at Silk and Sonder. But for those of you that I haven't yet had the pleasure of meeting, I am Meha Agrawal. I'm the founder and CEO of this wonderful company, Silk and Sonder. I've been at it for 7 years. And tonight we are here to savor summer. This is the summer where you stop waiting to feel like yourself again. Not next year, not when things calm down, because they're not going to, right? I saw a lot of your emojis with brains exploding, faces melting, everything across the gamut. But tonight we are prioritizing ourselves this season right now before the holiday chaos hits. So who's with me? I want to see it in the chat. I'm looking right over there to see who is ready to savor summer, to celebrate some progress, and to get things organized for Q4. I want to see it. Ready. Great. Tanya's ready. Kimberly's ready. Sonia's ready. Corey's ready. Everyone's ready. Yay. Okay, let's go. Let's get into housekeeping. Okay, so if you haven't already, taken from example here, set your chat to everyone so that we can have the chat pop in. I saw Sierra mentioning that it's going to get litty tonight. It definitely is. That's the energy that we bring here to the Sonder socials. Number two, I really, really want to encourage you to have either your laptop or your phone on if that's the way that you're engaging. Journal out. But if you're not using your phone, put that phone face down. Let the notifications be. Find yourself the quietest place in your home or wherever you're dialing in from. This is your time. Whether you can join us for 30 minutes or the whole hour and 15 hour and a half that we're going to go to tonight, I want this to be the best gift that you give yourself this summer, right? So be focused, be present. The chat is popping, be engaged. The replay is obviously going to be available. We say this every time. It's there within 24 hours. You are most likely not going to get through every single exercise in the depth that you'd like. So take a picture or take a screenshot. Know that you can come back to it on your own time. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed, right? Like you're brand new to Silk and Sonder, or maybe life's just really crazy and you've barely touched your July journal, that's okay. That means you're on the edge of something amazing. You're here for a reason. Something called you here to hear me, to be with your Sonder fam. You're here for a reason. So let the overwhelm just remind you that you're at the edge of something great. That's kind of the season that we're in. If you haven't yet taken the 7-day clarity reset challenge, we launched that last month. You still can do that. The URL is there, and Maya will link on the chat. Which reminds me, can we get a shout out for Maya in the house, who's going to be moderating and monitoring this crazy pop in chat that we have going on with all this summer energy, this pent up energy that we have in 2026. Let's hear it from Maya. She's going to be there, where she's going to be kind of curating all the questions that you have along the way, and I'll be addressing those throughout the evening. Just some friendly housekeeping reminders. So if you are a monthly or quarterly member, we just realized that a lot of you don't know that you can save a ton of money if you upgrade to annual. So as the founder and as someone who cares about your wallet to some extent, I just want to remind you that you can do that. Brings the cost down quite a bit to, like, I think less than 20 bucks a month. The daily reset journal, we talked about it last time. It is going to be available for pre-order. The only way that you're going to hear about this, there's basically three ways. One is you're going to get a text message from us. If you aren't opted into the SMS marketing of Silk and Sonder, maybe Maya, you can link that in the chat as well. That is going to be the fastest way to secure your daily reset journal, which is basically it's basically our take on a gratitude journal of sorts. You have daily exercises, morning and evening, and then you have a ton of notes pages for all your daily rituals at the end. So that's going to be available for pre-orders. We have limited quantities there. So be sure you're on our SMS and email marketing. And then eventually we'll be posting on Sonder Club with kind of in-app announcements and things like that. So please, 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 if you don't know whether you are on our email marketing list, just text the number or email hello@silkandsonder.com and our team will take care of you. Christmas in July. Who knows what I'm talking about here? This is a exclusive event that we brought into the calendar. Jen O will be leading it. It's something we've done usually every year for the past couple of years. We didn't have it on the docket. I heard you all loud and clear. I told my team, figure it out. Let's get Christmas in July. And that's going to be July 30th. So feel free to sign up. You can find the link. Maya will send that, or you can find that on Eventbrite. Great. I think, is there anything, Maya, question-wise that I need to cover, or we can move on?
I think we should be good. There's, did you want to mention the annual survey?
I do want to mention the annual survey. So, as you know, we like to be data-driven here at Silk and Sonder. We want to know how we're doing, right? I co-create products with this community. I always have. And so we launch 1 or 2 surveys per year where we collect information on how you're doing and also what you'd like to see next from us and what we could improve. So Maya's going to launch that, put that in the chat. Some of you have already messaged us and filled out those surveys, which is great. Some of you have not. And it doesn't matter if you're not yet a member, or a former member. We want to hear from all of you. If you're here, you're part of the extended Sonder fam. So it helps us decide what to build next. I clearly like to build a ton of things. And so that tends to help me prioritize. So definitely take it. Please, please, please take it by the end of this week, because your answers will help shape the roadmap for the rest of the year and 2027. And it also is nice to get a pulse check on how the Sonder fam is doing, kind of emotionally and all of that. This picture, by the way, I don't know if anybody recognizes her. She's been a dedicated user of Silk and Sonder since 2020. And if someone can name her, I will be very impressed if you're on Sonder Club and you know who it is. But Leanne is her name. She also hosted the In Real Life meetup here in the Bay Area. I had a chance to meet with her. She's amazing. She's also in the Pen Pal group and all the groups that you guys are facilitating on your own. So give her a shout as well. It was such a pleasure to see her in person. And if any of you are in the Bay Area, definitely holler at me so that we can meet up for coffee. All right. So, do we have any folks that are either brand new to Silk and Sonder? This is your first ever event with me, or you are not yet a part of the Sonder fam officially, but you're around. So, see, Carly's brand new. Welcome, Carly. Welcome, Catherine, Brandy. Okay, great. We have some new folks in the house. So, some of you have heard my story, some of you have not, but for those of you that are new or kind of, thinking about Silk and Sonder and haven't yet officially joined us, welcome. Um, my story and why we're here starts at the very beginning, right? I am South Asian American. I grew up with a father who's a professor and a mother who also worked at UC Santa Barbara. They immigrated here from India in the late 80s. And, growing up my entire childhood, I was conditioned to believe that success could come in one of four ways, right? You could be a doctor, lawyer, academic, or engineer. And so I studied computer science and business. I wound up in New York working for Goldman Sachs. I then joined a couple of startups and also joined Stitch Fix. And somewhere along the way, by my mid to late 20s, I started to feel that quiet depletion, that feeling of I've lost myself, right? Like how many of you, drop it in the chat, before Silk and Sonder felt some degree of I'm lost. I don't recognize who I am. I have no idea where I'm going. That was my story, even in my early 20s, as in my quarter life crisis. And what I began to realize was that, holy shit, I'm living on someone else's terms. So I know a lot of you in the audience tonight, you have spent your entire life serving others, right? And like nobly so, right? Like that's great. For me, in my case, I was still young with no responsibilities, no commitments, but I had this conditioning around being South Asian and American where I needed to perform, I needed to succeed, I needed to check all the boxes, build the safety nets, have a really incredible job that would pay me well, and that was success. But I had everything on paper. I even had my then boyfriend, now husband. I even lived in a new city. I was working at Stitch Fix, which was about to go public, and I felt nothing. I felt exhausted. I felt unfulfilled. And that was that slow burn that I'm talking about, where you're just so disconnected from your purpose. And that happened, so aggressively that it forced me to do my own research. Therapy felt intimidating, coaching was expensive, self-help books lacked accountability. And so from that, I ended up doing my own research for thousands of hours. I ended up spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on my own personal growth. And then I distilled that and I realized, holy shit, we need a science-backed, community-driven solution for purpose, connection, and belonging. And it starts with pen to paper. It starts with some kind of analog relief, right? And that is what started Silk and Sonder. That's where we were able to launch our journals. We served over 100,000 women. We've been featured in all the great, publications. But most importantly, it's the fact that 95% of women who join Silk and Sonder report seeing an improvement to their mental and emotional health within weeks. And that's because we're the only solution that blends novelty and we force you to be consistent. And that's how you see change. And then we're going to talk about Clarity, which is a new name for Sonder Coach. We haven't really officially rolled that out yet, but that really happened when I lost myself again. And that was during my first trimester of pregnancy. I felt like I had lost all my ambition. I felt like I couldn't run Silk and Sonder anymore. I was nervous about would I have to shut the company down? Like what's going on with my body? I don't know. And I realized no one was there when I needed support most. I have to build this. And that is what Sonder Coach is all about. But we're going to talk plenty about that. But you're in the right place. For those of you that feel an ounce of feeling lost, it's going to happen again and again, right? That's just how life is. That's how women are unfortunately or fortunately wired, right? We have hormones, we have all these things biologically that make us more prone to various emotional health conditions. It is Silk and Saunders' duty and responsibility to help you build a practice where you're resilient through this and you have the support of others through both life's ups and downs. Okay, my TED Talk is over. Let's move on. So, like I mentioned, at the end of the day, the secret behind Silk and Sonder and why we're different from any other self-help or self-betterment tool out there is the fact that you all get to experience real transformation through clarity, finding clarity, finding your purpose, and then having a plan with aligned action. And then most importantly, the real secret sauce behind Silk and Sonder, and you're seeing it in the chat today, is accountability. And that comes in different flavors, right? Some of us need personalization. That's through Sonder Coach. Some of us need to show up to events like this because of the camaraderie and the community and the real human connection. No matter how much AI helps us power all of the things, that help us better understand ourselves, nothing can or will ever replace human connection. And so Silk and Sonder is always going to have an analog component and a human connection component throughout its offerings, because that is how we actually thrive. That is how we solve our loneliness epidemic. All right, let's get into the immersive part of tonight. So for those of you that are new, I'm going to have you just go ahead and put your pens down for a moment, soften your gaze, close your eyes. If you can refrain from dropping anything in the chat for a couple seconds, just want you to anchor around why you showed up tonight. Some of you are veterans. You come here often. But for some of you, you could have easily said no, but you decided to show up. Something brought you here. Maybe it's work, maybe it's something personal, maybe you just want to see what the heck these events are all about. Whatever it is, you did the part that most people don't, which is showing up. So I want you to take one big deep breath for yourself, one for every woman on this call, and one for the world. So go ahead and inhale. One for yourself for showing up tonight. Exhale. One for every woman or person on this call who is doing the work alongside you. Inhale and exhale. And one more for the world at large. Go ahead and inhale and exhale. And yes, I'm already seeing people in the chat talking about needing a night for you. You need 5 minutes to an hour for yourself every day. You deserve it. So I want to know in the chat, next slide, what is the one word you're calling in this summer? It's not a goal. We're going to do plenty of work around that. Not a resolution, but the feeling that you want to embody this summer. I don't care if you're feeling it yet. I just want to know what you are attracting. For me, my word is expansion. I want to feel so expanded spiritually, financially, relationally. I want to just feel like energized and like, ooh, I can do it all. Almost like freedom. I'm seeing healthy, free, grounded, centered, balance, grounded, tranquility, great, motivation, free, summer, strength, growth, whole, love that, restored, beautiful, Ellen. Confidence, amazing. Keep them coming. Maya, what's your word?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say relaxed.
Oh, I love that. Very Zen energy for the summer. I love it. Almost the opposite of mine, but in the best way possible.
What was yours?
Expansion. Like I want to feel
Expansion.
like I can do it all. Yeah.
Nice.
Great. Lighter, calm, productive. Excellent. Okay. Now, channeling that, let's think about summer through our five senses. So if we're lucky enough to have our five senses, I want you to take out a piece of paper. Maybe it's in your journal. Maybe it's in your Elevate planner. Maybe it's a printer paper. It doesn't matter. I want you to write these down. Summer tastes like, summer smells like, summer sounds like, summer feels like, and summer looks like. And we're just going to put about a minute and a half on the clock and just jot down what comes to mind and drop it in the chat. Oh my God, this is so fun because I didn't even expect this, but I also put summer tastes like watermelon. And I saw a couple of you had that and ice cream. So very synergetic. And then I put summer um, smells like chestnuts for me because I used to live in New York and that smell when you're walking around. And then what did people put for summer sounds like? Chirping. Oh, beautiful. Seagulls, amazing. Um, Great. And then I also put summer feels like a warm hug because it really does. So thank you all for sharing. That was a fun little lighthearted exercise. Next, I want us to meet our favorite summer self. So if you want, you can close your eyes with me for a second. But really, the purpose of this exercise is to think back to a summer, maybe growing up, maybe even in your adult years, but a summer that you just loved. When you think back to this time, who you were, where you were, who you were with, doesn't matter how far back. Think about a favorite summer or season. But in this case, I want you to try to pick summer if you can. And I want you to think about what made you lose track of time. Who were you around? What did you love doing? And what felt effortless? And just tap into that embodiment as you're writing. We'll put a couple minutes on the clock here. Amazing. Thank you all for sharing. I think the feelings that I'm noticing are freedom, like play, carefree, people that you love around you. So I want you guys to also share in the chat what were the feelings that came up, and is it similar or different than the feeling that we talked about earlier? All right. Let's move on to our next exercise. Some of you guys might recognize this from our Wheel of Life, but we are not rating today. I just want you to take a look at these categories, and I want you to pick 1 to 2 areas that you want to improve. It may not even be the area that's the lowest, right? It might just be an area that's the focus for the season. I think so many times we try to focus on everything all the time. Am I thriving in my career? Am I rich? Am I making time for personal growth? Am I expanding, or am I improving my health? Like just pick 1 or 2 that if you looked back, at the end of summer and the beginning of Q4, if you looked back and said, I improved here and I'm happy that I did. I actually focused on this and I did well. I want to know what those categories are. Drop them in the chat. Financial and health. India needs a job. Let us know if you're hiring. Health and adventure and fun. For me, it is probably personal growth and hmm, career or financial, rather financial, which is kind of related to career for me. Okay. And now we're going to do our next exercise. So you guys have heard me talk about this, but I struggle with this even till this day. So that's why I always have this in. Um, it's very easy to decide your category, pick a goal or feeling that you want, and then be like, why isn't nothing changing, right? We have to write our goals excuse me, and manifestations with intention. So I want you to take a moment. I'm going to rattle off all these things. You're most likely maybe going to get through 1 to 3 if you're lucky, 1 to 2, hopefully, in the time that we give. But I want you to at least think about this because you might be able to write this section by section, or you might be able to write this in kind of a long format. In whatever way you want. So number one, I want you to get really clear, right? In the next 3-ish months, what are the outcome goals? I have 6 to 12 months here because usually you want a longer window, but for the sake of this exercise, you can even pick something a little bit smaller. If you're big picture like me, just use a 6 to 12 month window. That's totally fine. But pick that category that you want to focus on this season. So I want to get really specific. I want it to be measurable in the sense of like, you will know if you achieve it. So I think India or somebody wanted a job, right? If you in the next 6 to 12 months want a new job, then the outcome goal is very easy, right? Get a new job. That's very concrete. Maybe for some of you, it's buy a home, right? Or something like whatever, some health goal, whatever it is. Get very specific and make it like stretch but believable. Like if you put a little effort in, you'll probably get it. That kind of thing. Second, how will you feel once it's achieved? What emotions? I keep coming back to emotions and feelings because I'm learning a lot about the power of embodiment. So much of like being able to attract what you want is it comes down to how you're feeling, how your nervous system feels. So, what is the feeling you'll have once you achieve it? And also, what are the feelings you want to have when you're in the process of achieving it? And this is the part that I think a lot of experts get wrong. They tell you to kind of focus on the outcome and when you reach it, but you have to think about the journey, right? Like if you're going to apply to a ton of jobs or if you're going to have a lot of hard conversations, like do you want to actually feel lighter at the end of those hard conversations, right? Like think about the feeling that you want to have both at the outcome as well as in the process. What are your non-negotiables? Where will you not settle? In the job example, salary. In the home example, maybe it's a particular type of kitchen, right? If you're writing a book, like what are your non-negotiables? You want to self-publish and that's it, or whatever it might be, right? So think about what those are. I usually like to like put those as bullets, and then as I get new information, because you're going to get an offer, you're going to get an opportunity to buy a home or change your home or move to a city or whatever, you then are able to kind of look back and be like, actually, this doesn't feel right. I'm going to add this to my list as something that, is a non-negotiable to me. What values does it honor? What does this version of you who already has it, what does she need to believe that she may not right now? So think about your beliefs and values. And then last, my favorite, which like all of you are going to do as homework, especially if you're a member of Silk and Sonder, what are your process goals? What are the small ways that you can actually take action? So we've got our daily habit tracker. We've got our weekly habit tracker. We've got our 3 goals for the week. We've got daily logs. There are so many places that you can put this, right? So once you've kind of gotten clear, think about what are those micro actions or those habits or rituals or routines that you need to do to at least get closer to your goal. And guess what? The best part about Silk and Sonder is every week, every month, every day, you get to start afresh. So if you put something in your daily tracker and it's just not working and you're not having fun doing it, cross it out. Like you don't need to do it. You don't need to stick to it. Pick something else. Every time something doesn't feel right, you just course correct. And that's just new data points and a new opportunity. Okay, done with my lecture. I want you guys to at least get crystal clear on one and two. That should be fairly easy. And if you can move on to three, four, or five, you can pick whichever one you want. Go ahead and share in the chat as well. Also, I'm already seeing it. The Sonder fam is amazing at giving guidance and advice and ideas. So if you're like, I don't really know what my outcome goal is, but I really want to change this, let them help you too. So go ahead and share in the chat what you feel comfortable. Okay. Great. I don't know if some of you have been following me on Instagram. I've kind of dropped the ball on LinkedIn. I need to get back on there. But um, one of my goals for the year is to be a little bit more visible on social media, not from a place of ego, but really to help share kind of what we're building at Silicon Sonder, the vulnerability around what it takes to be an entrepreneur, and also just like with all the stuff that we're doing, especially on um, both Sonder Coach and the journal side. I just feel like people need to know about Silk and Sonder. And so that's been kind of my like weekly ritual is batching content that we can post. So I'm loving everyone's kind of process goals because that is how you will reach your outcome goal. Um, great. Okay. Let's move on. I think the next exercise, Maya and I spoke before this. I want this to be your homework because I feel like it takes a little bit of time to do it well. And I also think this is a perfect one to share in Sonder Club. So take a moment, just take a screenshot here. If we get time at the very end, maybe we'll come back to it. But I feel like the summer harvest is just a fun, it's like it's a take on Rosebud Thorn, but more in the summer harvest kind of mindset. So take a screenshot here. Um, and then the one, did everyone get a chance to take a screenshot? I feel like I'll might have. Okay, cool. Maybe we can take a screenshot and post in the chat later. All right. This is the exercise that I want us to focus on. Um, I want you to answer these questions. I want you to really think about what goal you are after, what feeling you're after this summer, and I want you to answer the following. I know I'd feel like more like myself if I've been waiting for dot 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 before I let myself dot dot dot. The biggest promise I've made myself that I keep postponing is, and be honest, like brutally honest. No one's going to see this, right? Unless you share with us in the chat. Um, and then why hasn't it happened yet? I want you to get really, really deep on this because it is so important for us to recognize what patterns, beliefs might be getting in the way. All right, I'm gonna put on some. All right. Can I see in the chat some of your answers? Meredith, absolutely love that answer. I know I'd feel more like myself if I honestly don't know, and that's why I'm here. Great. I'm going to show you how we can help you feel more like yourself because the reality is a lot of us don't really know who we are, right? It's hard to admit that, but when I started getting into all this personality and mindset stuff, I thought I was a certain way, but that was just society conditioning me to be that way. And I later realized I'm someone completely different. And so feeling like yourself is this notion that we're all after, but what if there was a shortcut to get there? Um, Great. Oh, Sheila, you are so not alone. Menopause, perimenopause. Um, Hormones are a real thing. We're actually going to have someone come and speak about women's hormones and health in the next couple of months, but totally normal. You're not alone. And this is the type of thing where if you know how you're hardwired and everything, and on top of that, you have all these hormonal changes happening or this new season of life, my goal with Sonder Coach is that it actually helps you do the right thing for you in the moment with whatever's in your control. So, can we solve all the problems at once? No, but understanding who you are helps you feel more like yourself. Okay, great. Okay, I feel like we're stuck on number one, ladies. That's totally fine. I'm here for you, and I actually feel confident that we can solve this together. So let's talk about what gets in the way, right? There are three types of burnout, and most of you have probably heard of overload. I talk about this almost every single event that I host because we ignore it, right? We just continue pushing past limits. We ignore our own needs. We do all the things in the house. We are either working or we are serving everybody else. We are on over freaking load all the damn time, right? If you're working a ton, right? Because that is just how you self-validate, but deep down you're just exhausted, you have overload burnout. Under challenge burnout. This was the burnout I talked about before. You are stuck in the job, bored out of your mind, disconnected, resentful with your boss. Like maybe you're not working crazy hours, but you feel that slow burn, right? For others, it's just you're doing the motions, you're living your life on autopilot, but you're not happy, right? Like how many of us we want to be grateful, but we still just don't feel like ourselves, so we don't feel that happy, that bliss, that joy, that freedom. Like I want to know how many of you actually, you force yourself to be grateful, but you're like still kind of disconnected. You feel like there's more, but you don't know where to find it, right? Neglect, stuck, giving up on yourself. What's the point of even trying? Like, I am such and such years old. What's the point? Like, blah, blah, blah. No, there is reinvention on the other side, and you deserve it. You deserve to feel like you because feeling like your authentic self, you actually vibrate at a higher frequency than even feelings like love and joy. So, knowing that all of us are on this quest to find ourselves and be ourselves, that is what I want to help you with. Three types of procrastination, right? You procrastinate, that is just a symptom of feeling burnt out, usually, right? And you're procrastinating because of various emotional blockers, fear, overwhelm. Your nervous system wants to keep you safe all the time. So you just kind of resort to doing whatever you're doing because something else might require something new of you. Motivational killers. And then my favorite is personality driven. So we haven't done it in a while, but I've done sessions on this. And if you join Sonder Coach, we actually highlight for you your tendencies on why you procrastinate. So, for example, I'm an ENTP on the Myers-Briggs. And so, what that means, or what I've learned through Sonder Coach, is that I tend to procrastinate when things aren't feeling exciting enough, right? So, it's like, ugh, as the founder, it's like I launch something and then I have to optimize it. And it's like kind of boring. I like to do the 0 to 1 stuff. And so, knowing that I can kind of time block how I should do things to kind of make sure that I'm making progress to get us from, A to Z. Um, People have tendencies to be perfectionists, you're saboteurs. Like these are all reasons that you get in your own way of having the thing it is that you want. And that's where traps and saboteurs come into place. So we have an assessment. We built it with psychologists. It is one that helps you understand how you have these thinking traps that you're most prone to, how you distort your own thinking by catastrophizing, by should statements, by fortune telling worst case scenarios before they've even happened yet, right? That's an assessment that you would take as part of Sonder Coach. And then saboteurs is one by positive intelligence. And that's your strengths taken too far. So I'm an achiever, but when I become a hyperachiever, I'm pretty nasty. I'm like scared of failure. I'm scared of success. I like make up all the excuses. I burn myself out. Like when hyperachiever saboteur is around, she is a little bitch, if you know what I mean. She like holds me back from building and being creative and being the achiever natural that I am. So my favorite thing, which we're going to talk about in just a second, is how we are the only platform out there. And if not, you can let me know who does it better than us. We are the only platform out there that actually proactively gives you solutions based off of how you're hardwired through all these modalities. And what's coming is more modalities, more opportunities to understand how to find yourself. But before I show you all of this, I want us to take stock of the summer pledge. So that's our take on a contract. Maya, next slide. I want you to think about this. I talked about this last time. We have a lot of contracts that we sign, right? We sign a contract with our landlords, we sign contracts with our jobs, we sign contracts with our clients, we sign contracts with our tenants if we're homeowners. We have unspoken contracts too, right? The ones that you like kind of signed up for at birth with maybe your parents or your siblings or when you had children. You are playing so many roles and you are fulfilling so many expectations and obligations for everybody else. Marriage contract, yes. Like everybody else, you are meeting everyone else's needs. But what about the most important freaking contract of all time, which is the contract that you have with yourself, for yourself? The contract that, by the way, you are allowed to change and make addendums whenever you damn please, right? Like that is the beauty of a self contract. I have a take on this. It's called the Summer Pledge, and I'm going to read it out loud. You should screenshot it. We also have a printable for you if you want. You probably won't be able to write as fast as I'm talking, but if you can, I'll try to talk slowly. I, insert your name, promise not to let this season pass me by. I will slow down enough to notice the life I'm already living and be honest about the life I still want to create. I will acknowledge what I've been putting off, the promises I've made to myself, but I haven't kept, and the parts of me I've placed on hold while tending to everything and everyone else. I will make room for more of what makes me feel alive. Joy, play, rest, curiosity, connection, and the dreams that keep calling me back. I don't need to have it all figured out, but I won't keep waiting for the perfect time to begin. I will choose one meaningful step, ask for support when I need it, and keep showing up for the person I'm becoming. This summer, I choose to savor what is, pursue what could be, and come home to myself again and again and again. I get chills reading it. I even feel, maybe now that I'm a mom, these contracts feel almost like I'm risking it. Like, oh my God, am I going to break this contract? I don't know if you guys feel that as I'm reading it. Like, can I really ask for support when I need it? Like, I don't even know how to do that, right? That's the point, though. The point is for this to feel uncomfortable and a little overwhelming, but also a little freeing. So if you signed this contract, either you did it in your head or you wrote it down or you took a screenshot and you're going to sign it after, I want you to write done in the chat. I want to see how many of you are actually committing to the summer pledge with me. Great. Sharon's done. Alyssa's done. Cheryl's done. Brandy's done. Lisa, Susan. Hi, Susan. I know Susan. Liza's done. Becky. Oh man, you guys are great. Are we going to hold each other accountable, especially for those of us that are already members of the Sonder Fam, the ladies in this group? Are we going to help each other? Because women alone cannot, it's just like, it breaks my heart that for centuries, women have had to just shove their problems down, pretend like everything's okay, like no more. We are here for each other. If someone's about to break the contract, we're helping them. If we know we're about to break the contract, we're asking for help. Okay? Tell everybody. Tell your husbands, tell your parents, tell your children. This is my contract. I'm abiding by it. And guess what? When I show up for myself, I show up better for everyone. I show up better for all of you. So just give me my damn 5 minutes. All right? Okay. Let's move on. I want you to now look back at your one word. I know I like oscillate between like pumping you all up and then boom, bringing you back to reality. But I want you to honestly look at that one word that you are trying to attract for this summer. The one word you typed in the beginning, that feeling that you want, that feeling of free, calm, expansion, whatever it was, I want you to ask yourself, how many times have you felt that in the last 90 months? Honestly. Tanya, don't worry, you're going to get a recording. I know it goes by so fast. I just feel bad when I eat up everyone's time. Not enough, little bit, none. Not at all. Lori, thank you for being honest. We need to change this, ladies. You showed up here tonight. You know what? You actually showed up on a Wednesday when you probably had 100 other things pulling at you, right? You're already embodying parts of that contract. That's who you are. You're the woman who shows up. You know, the other day I was talking to somebody and they said, you know what? Like, there's two types of people. There are those that want to feel seen, and there's those that actually show up and do the work. And one group is much bigger. And I was like, yeah, it is. And I know Silk and Sonder solves that to some degree. But the women that have actually joined the Sonder fam in some capacity, or maybe you used to be part of the Sonder fam, you're a woman who shows up. And that's where real change happens, right? So I want to ask you, all of you, how long have you been trying to figure this shit out on your own? How long have you been trying to do all the things by yourself? Because the woman who showed up here tonight, the woman I know all of you are, does not DIY her growth forever. She finds her system, she finds her support. She has her support. You can see it in the chat, right? You can see it in Sonder Club. But you deserve more. So I've said this before. We're going to the next slide. So many of you have said, it's not enough, right? Why am I doing this life's work? Why do I come on here and talk about Silk and Saunders journaling and the Sonder socials and the daily rituals? And why do I keep demoing the new things that we keep building in Sonder Coach? Because you can journal on your own the same way, right? That you can go to the gym. And that's great. A lot of you are already doing that. And plenty of women will succeed just doing that, right? The same women that probably hit up the gym and run on the treadmill, not me. But the ones who stop starting over again and again and again usually have someone in their corner, right? And many of us have many folks in our corner, right? Whether that's a therapist or a coach or what have you. But the consistency in between, right? And the clarity that you need to understand yourself, how you think, how you're wired, what trips you up, that's what you need on the days when you're almost ready to quit, right? And that's the difference between a page you fill out and a practice that actually feels like yours and fills you back up. And that's what I want to give you tonight. So you have 3 doors. You've got the DIY, do it yourself. For those of you that are not yet part of Silk and Sonder, maybe you're here, right? You're going to leave with the momentum of tonight. You're going to go do your homework, expand upon the exercises. You're going to look at that contract that you sign, and then you're going to go at it alone, right? Willpower. This is where I was. I've been there. I lived it. And like, it was hard. It took a long time to build Silk and Sonder and create Silk and Sonder because I didn't even know that I could be an entrepreneur, right? And what happens is that the kids need something, right? Your inbox explodes and the clarity, it starts to fade. And by the end of the week, your notebook is closed, your blank notebook that you're using. By the end of the month, you can't even remember, what your word even was. And by September, you're staring down at the holidays, wondering how summer slipped through and you're still in the same boat, right? That's the DIY approach. It's not a character flaw, by the way. That's natural. That's human. That's what happens when you have some insights, but no infrastructure. Door number 2, most of you are here, right? And I see you. I was there too until my first trimester. I was like, this is not enough. You have your journal, you have your Sonder socials, you've got the club, you've got daily rituals. You're doing more than the average person ever will in their entire life. But if I can be honest with you, you're still the one driving, right? Sure, we have our Sonder socials. Sure, you get examples. But what we can't give you in those Sonder socials is the truth around who you are and how you operate, right? You're still deciding what to work on. You're still filtering which pages to repurpose, when to push, when to give yourself grace. And when life gets loud, and summer will get loud, you're the one that has to remember to come back to yourself. I mean, so many of us can't even answer the first question, right? How do I feel like myself again? I don't know. I don't even know what that means. How do I do that? That's exhausting. And you've been doing it for a while, right? And I was doing this for a while. We have done an amazing job with what Silk and Sonder is today, right? But I was craving more because the infrastructure exists to combine all the modalities, all the expert knowledge. And that's when I realized the journal is my gym. The Sonder socials are my group fitness class. But what I need for real transformation and not repeating the same patterns, not filling out my journal the same exact way is something like our clarity platform or Sonder Coach. And that's the only thing that I know out there that completes all of your wiring. You give us the results to your assessments, you answer questions, you tell us what's top of mind, and we combine the best from human design, Myers-Briggs, saboteurs, cognitive distortions, Enneagram, all of those things so that we can help showcase to you how beautifully wired you are, how perfectly imperfect you are. But your personality is shaped by the age of 7. So we've gotta love ourselves for who we are. Our mindset and our behavioral patterns, those can evolve. And that's what Silk and Sonder is here for. And that is the part that I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars working on. I continue to spend money on this so I can distill it and bring it to all of you. But I want you to have that personal trainer for the rest of 2026. And so we have never before done this offer. We are giving you $100 off every month up to the end of the year. And then if that needs to remain, we can have a chat about it. But what I want you to know is that that price is the best. It's better than what we've done in the past because I want this to be a no-brainer for you. And you have a 30-day money back guarantee. I want you to have the support and I want you to be there with me to co-create this experience to be exactly what you need. So if we can't help you figure out how to find yourself again or be yourself again, you tell me and we help build that, right? All right. And I want to know in the chat, if you're joining, I want to know in the chat. I want to celebrate you because it's not easy. It is not easy as a woman to say yes to you, to invest in yourself. I mean, we barely make time for ourselves. So take it or leave it. But those of you that actually want to come home to yourself, take it. You have nothing to lose. 30-day money back guarantee, $49. This is less than a dinner out with your spouse. Okay, next. Okay, Stacy wants to join, but she's scared of AI. Tell us why you're scared of AI, because we only use AI to help power some of it, but you can see the energy of humans that goes into it. So, don't be scared. We're not just another AI chatbot situation. I want you to really, really honestly answer this question for yourself. You're excited for the second half of the year. But if you're already a little nervous, if you got a little nervous on the pledge with me that you're going to get in your own way, I want you to write down what it is that you are most worried about. Just a belief about yourself. Do you think you're going to quit again? Do you think you're not going to follow through? Do you think you're going to get overwhelmed and disappear? Do you think you're just, you're one of those people that doesn't stick to new things? Like, what is it? What's going to get in the way? Oh, Maya, can you drop the link on where they sign up with the code? I think the code is Savoring 26. India's never going to be consistent. We help you with that, right? You by understanding why you're inconsistent and on what things you're inconsistent, we can give you that awareness so that you can intercept it, right?
Hey, Meha,
Yes.
do you want to talk a little bit about like what happens if they sign up like the onboarding call
Oh,
or if they start using it and they don't feel like it's like working, who should they contact? What should they do? Those kinds of questions are kind of popping up there in the chat.
yeah. See, and this is like so human, but you are already creating reasons for you to fail. That is your saboteur. That is your cognitive distortion getting in the way. You're already judging yourself. So I'm gonna name the pattern because I see the pattern, right? But on the other side, because I'm so confident you're gonna love it, you have a 30-day money back guarantee. So you would just email concierge@silkensigner.com. You would show us that you've been showing up for yourself and it's not what you thought it would be. It's not actually helping. And then we can give your money back. But of course, like by investing in yourself, you are actually going to see the value that we deliver for you. And I guarantee you're not going to be in that position. I think I don't think anyone has ever requested a refund to my knowledge. And if they have, it's clearly less than 1%. Great. Okay, Sarah, the deal is available until I think midnight tomorrow, next 24 hours. Great question, Shelley. It is not a 6-month commitment. It is a month-to-month commitment for up to the end of the year. So, and yes, Corey, we have humans, right? There are real humans behind this. Your one-on-one onboarding is going to be with a member from our team. All right, let's actually do a little show and tell, shall we? So for those of you go-getters, go get it while I'm showing and telling. But for those of you that are on the fence, those are your saboteurs, those are your cognitive distortions, but I can't blame you because you haven't experienced it for yourself. So let me show you what this looks like. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right. Okay. So here's what happens. You join Sonder Coach. So you'll join the link. You'll get an email immediately from me. We'll have you take a few assessments, Enneagram, Myers-Briggs. Some of these you might already know. Saboteurs, cognitive distortions. I think the whole thing, depending on how seriously you take them can take anywhere. For someone like me, it only took like 20 minutes, but for others, it takes maybe up to an hour. So block yourself some time, maybe on the weekend or, tonight, whenever, to just get started or chip away at it. And then you get a full in-depth personality report. So you don't have to read or pay for anything as you take those assessments. You don't need to like sign up for any of their reports. We distill all of it down for you here. And the first thing that you get from your lifestylist is a personality reading. So as you can see, it's not comparing, it's combining my Myers-Briggs, my background and upbringing, what I've shared in my life intake questionnaire. It's going through layers of intelligence of understanding how all of this fits together. This is something that does not exist. This doesn't exist with a coach or a therapist. They like humanly, it's not possible to take all the modalities and suddenly be an expert and be able to spit back to you exactly who you are, why you are the way that you are within minutes, right? That just is hard to do. In my experience, even though I have had one-on-one sessions with all the experts, they're usually very good at their own modality. Or like the books that you read, they don't really borrow from others, right? So Silk and Sonder is combining that. Why? Because you have a unique blueprint. For the longest time, I knew that I was an achiever on and my and in the Enneagram, and I knew that I like had a tendency to be like an ENTP or whatever. I did not know that I'm a projector on the human design, which means that I don't have a battery like the generators they're called that can just do. So guess what? Guess who was creating a huge to-do list and being so ambitious and then feeling like shit because she didn't get anything done because she doesn't have that energy to do it the way everybody else does it around her, despite being an achiever, me, right? So how do I now live my life knowing that about myself, knowing that I need to recharge? Because when I do work and when I do achieve, I do so with great intensity. That is the type of stuff that we help bring to life for you. We help you understand your superpowers, your blind spots. One of my favorites, we track our steps, we track our meals, we track our sleep. But what about how we're doing in the inside, our emotional health score? And then being able to kind of see the trends over time. And we're actually going to be working on summarizing some insights here on why you might be tracking a certain way over the other. And then my favorite is something we launched a few months ago called your core patterning. As you can see here, I mentioned that I'm an achiever. I have a hidden limiting belief running in the background. And this goes back to like finding myself again. This is how I find myself, right? If right now, or like when I took this, if I don't constantly achieve and impress, I'll lose my value and fall behind. I mean, you guys see this. You guys know that I get nervous for, when I go up on stages. You know that it's all about performance and it feels unnatural for me. And it's because I have these fears of failure, right? What if what I'm saying doesn't resonate, et cetera. So this is the truth that I always have to remember. This is how I start to show up, right? My worth is not defined by my achievements. I'm enough just as I am, and true success is living authentically. This is very hard for me to do, but I'm aware of it now. And so that's why I mentioned it took me months and months and months to get myself on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. But I'm doing this because you know what? I don't care how many follows I get. I don't care how many likes or views or whatever. I told my team I don't even want to track the metrics. All I care about is that I am doing something from a place of joy and I'm living authentically. And if it helps people, great. If not, who cares? So that is the type of stuff that we help surface. And guess what? This pattern doesn't just show up in one area of your life, shows up everywhere, right? And so we help you understand. So if you're having trouble in a particular area, you now know why it comes, what to do about it, right? And then we have plenty of other things in the personality report, like your personalized daily and weekly thing. So this happens right after you complete your life intake questionnaire. Maya, how am I doing? Did that at least answer that part?
Yes, I was gonna say
Okay.
I'm answering lots of questions in the chat. I know there's a lot of folks asking about like what happens when they sign up, and then is it in the Sonder Club app,
Oh,
or is
okay,
it a
great.
separate
That's
browser?
great
Yeah.
question. As you can see here, I'm on my browser, but it is available on a mobile browser as well as a desktop browser. We've got a lot of feedback from people who are already on Sonder Coach, our early beta users. they have expressed interest in having it in their app so it's under one place. The reason, I'm a software engineer and product manager by trade. The intentionality and the reason why it's not yet available in our regular Silk and Sonder app is because we're still learning. We're still testing. We want this to be available for people who aren't even members of the Silk and Saunders journaling program, right? So if we have an app that creates a little bit of friction, people need to download it. People are so anti-apps everywhere. So this comes directly via, like, your plans every day come directly via text message. You get a link. You can open it in the morning, in the evening, whatever time that you decide, you get to choose, and make it work for you. But this allows the flexibility of, you don't need to download a brand new app, but eventually it's going to live under one roof. Does that answer that?
Yep. And then I've had the question, I signed up last year. I've been doing it, but can I update my assessment? Like, can I retake the
Yes.
assessments? Like, if I feel
Okay,
like something
great.
is
Why don't
updated.
we why don't we come back to that question?
Yep.
Let's keep going here because I know we're already at 6:05. So um the answer is yes. The easiest way, you can just email concierge@silkencenter.com with your new results, and that would be the easiest way. But there's also a preferences section. So for those of you that just saw, we have our personality reading, you get that right away. Then you get something that I like to call kind of like fun homework from your lifestylist based off of all of those modalities, and you get different exercises, right? One of my favorites is this tip of the day, taking who you are and remembering either a strength or a tendency that you're prone to, and then kind of seeing how you should be aware of it throughout the day, and then plenty of journaling prompts and activities. And my favorite, which I demoed last time, you now can have, the opportunity, if this doesn't resonate because you just had an argument with your spouse and you're worried and blah, 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 you just go ahead and click I have a worry, you dictate or you type what's on your mind, and then you get fresh new activities that maybe feel a little bit more personalized in the moment, in the heat of the moment. So we have a reactive solution as well as a proactive solution based off of what you shared. These I like to call self-care prescriptions, right? These are kind of the things that you do every day to just instantly feel better. All right. Any questions? I can't demo everything that we have. We're going to go into a whole list of everything we have, but are you ready to see something that is not yet on production? The facilitators haven't seen it. I think barely HQ has seen it, but I really wanted to give you guys a preview of this today. Does anyone have a guess what it might be? Curious. Yeah. Anyone know? Anyone know? Not yes, but right. Okay, no, Shelly, this has to do with Sonder Coach. So no in-person retreat. Sorry. Um, we have relationship readings. So you saw that there is a personality reading for you, but now we get to see how we show up with the people that we love. Um, I built this because when I started to understand more about myself, of course, I made my husband, my then boyfriend, take all the things, right? He doesn't care as much to understand about himself at the same degree that I do. Now he does, but it took a while. But there are things that you can understand about your dynamic with your spouse, your coworker, your child, your parents. I mean, it is just amazing what these modalities can teach you. And again, it's not to be fearful. Everything at Silk and Sonder is about awareness and improving our emotional well-being by being aware of things, by knowing how your spouse might react to something, how you might react to something. You start to create the confidence to talk about these things, right? So I'll give you a preview of what it looks like. I'm gonna be very vulnerable here. You don't have to read everything on this page, but this is an example of what a spouse reading in its minimum viable product, ladies. That means this is just scratching the surface. I mean, this is like an MVP. We are going to be improving the crap out of this, but it is already so freaking good. I had to share. This tells me a little summary of me and my husband, right? And what I love about this, this is pulling from human design for now, and then as they enter the Sonder Coach experience, if they choose to, we can then take all of their saboteur information, their Myers-Briggs, and all the extra assessments. We can bring that in, but human design doesn't need as many data points, so it's very easy for us to look at what's available to us. What I learned learned from understanding myself versus Kunal. I told you I'm a projector. I need time to recharge and reset. I work with intensity, but it like comes in phases. Kunal is a generator. He is constantly going, going, going. Has, he can switch from task to task. He can come in and ask me a question about topic A and then move to topic B, and I'm exhausted, I'm depleted. So these are the types of things where I now know that. And so on weekends, we don't say yes to everything, right? Because he knows to ask me about like, okay, one social event per weekend, and then he's bored by Sunday, and then I know to meet him in the middle. So this is very, very fascinating stuff. My favorite, how you're great together. By the way, if you don't have a spouse or you're, for whatever reason, or if you don't have a romantic partner, there's a ton of other relationship readings that will be relevant for you. So don't worry if this doesn't resonate yet. Where you're great together, right? You can flip these cards and understand that. Where you both might clash, right? I just talked about borrowing his motor. Like I cannot keep up with Kunal's energy. It just won't happen, right? How to show up for each other. What Kunal can do for me, what I can do for Kunal. These are all little like actionable tidbits because Silk and Sonder is not just about give me the information, right? We are the women that show up. We are the women who want to integrate into our life. Thank you, Joelle. I know this is a lot of stuff. It is like pretty incredible what we've built. And then these are journal prompts for reflecting, right? Because a lot of times we want to show up for everyone around us. We have to first show up and internalize and understand, ourselves in this relationship dynamic. And then small practices you can do in the spirit of our daily, weekly, monthly, because we love this. And this, ladies, like I don't even want to open the Google Doc I'm working on. I am building with my team bigger infrastructure for more to come on here. I mean, this is like the bare minimum. And I know how many of you just the more that you understand about yourself, the more that you understand people you love, the better, right? I want to show you just to give you a little example. I did it for Anaya as well. And it's this is just the bare bones. We're going to also add in the future, which by the way is the reason you should sign up today because we don't know if we're going to keep it like a add-on service or whether it's going to be included. But how to parent her, depending on her age and all that kind of stuff. But same thing, right? Like how do we clash? How are we great together? How we need to show up for each other, and then prompts about how I can, reflect around my relationship with Anaya. So that is the fun thing. I need you all to keep it under wraps. It's a secret until next week. We're going to be launching it, and it will be available. You will not get this unless you are a member of Sonder Coach. So if you want it, join Sonder Coach today. Let's move on to, or are there any more questions? I know we're over time, but
No, actually,
sorry.
you still have 3 minutes.
Oh, I do? Okay, then great. I got confused. I thought we were ending at 6. Okay, perfect. Any pressing questions? Otherwise, I have a fun surprise. I kind of want the surprise to come in. But are people signing up? Are we convinced
They
now?
are saying that they're signing up. There's a few people that had some issues. I have them emailing concierge at silkandsonder.com because they signed up, but then it pops up. It wants them to pay $75 to like rejoin because they were a member and then
Mm.
they weren't. And then
Well, if they have a link, does it not work? Or can they not?
they used the link, but then it like when they tried it, it popped up.
Oh,
Yeah. So I
okay.
told them just to email concierge and they can
Yeah.
help them get that
Yeah.
taken care of.
And maybe if they can also just DM the hosts and panelists right now, if we can just get their names, we can
Yeah.
also just let the team know.
Yep. I will let
Um,
them, I'll record that and let headquarters know that
Amazing.
they're having some
Okay,
issues,
and
but yeah.
for anyone who's signing up today, this is going to be available next week. So when that drops, you'll get plenty of emails around it. Um, I want you to just email meha@silkandthunder.com. How well did the content resonate? What ideas do you have? What would you like answers to? All of that kind of stuff. Just let me know because we are going to be making the entire, experience even better and better every day and more personalized. So I need to know. Um, Monica, are you also someone that used to have Sonder Coach? I just want to make sure that this isn't happening for everybody. It just is happening to the people. Okay, great. Okay, welcome back. Um, and yes, for anyone who's like wondering, oh, I'll sign up for it later. Trust me, when I start to like really look at everything, I'm probably going to tier Sonder Coach. And so if you want the grandfathered price, you got to come in now. So okay, I want to move on. I want, you heard it from me, you heard it from people in the chat, but let's see what others have to say, Maya, shall we?
Yes, let me get that screen back.
And yeah, Meredith, you will be grandfathered in for up till the end of 2026. And thank you, Ellen. I really appreciate that. Every time I want to build something for myself, I know that there are others that could use the same thing. Because how many of you have had, I don't know, conflict at work, conflict at home, just like you waste time being exhausted and tired and sad because you like end up crying over something that wasn't even your fault to begin with. Like you got to know yourself and you got to know who you're dealing with, right? Like that's just the way this all works. Okay. Radhika has said that she felt so incredibly seen in a way that she never ever had, right? This is like a mirror that was held up to her. Beth said that, this is better than even therapy, which used to cost her 350 bucks a week. I mean, this is also like some of these are from the early days. So we have improved Sonder Coach since some of these have come in. And then Leah says the chat option with her coach has been incredible. And I think we saw it in the chat. A lot of people are skeptical about AI, but Jenny has completely changed their mind. So the second surprise is we have got somebody you may or may not recognize from the chat or from Sonder Club, who is a member of not just Silk and Sonder's journaling program, but also of Sonder Coach. She is, before I reveal her name, she found Silk and Sonder in 2023 during one of the hardest seasons of her life, and she hasn't looked back. And what started as a hesitant leap, she'll be the first to tell you that she's flaky with follow through, turned into not just an annual subscription from day one, but also one of our users for Sonder Coach, which she calls her daily anchor for her every morning. So it's none other than Corey. Corey, if you're here, hello. It is so nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. I felt like it would be amazing for the Sonder fam to just hear from you directly on what you've learned about yourself through Sonder Coach that you think you would not have ever learned about otherwise.
So I had to really think about this because I think that it sometimes is so subtle that it's not like this big revelation, but I went back and I looked at my personality profile and was kind of reviewing everything. And I think maybe one of the biggest takeaways for me is I have what I feel like are maybe conflicting tendencies, much like you
Mhm.
talked about, Meha.
Yeah.
I am a significant introvert, but extrovert when I'm with my people. So in Sonder Club, people are like, "What? You're an
Yeah.
introvert?" Right?
I thought the same thing when you told me you're an
Yeah.
introvert. I was like, really?
Super introvert, but that's because I have to have alone time to recharge. I also have really significant helper tendencies. I'm an obliger.
Yeah.
I'm
We
totally an
both know this.
obliger,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I also have really strong leadership skills. So these three things, like in my head, totally conflict with each other all the time. I'm a manifester. I'm a mediator. I'm an INFP.
Yeah.
So how can I be a manifester while I'm still this
Yeah.
INFP,
Yeah.
right? So um, how do these tendencies work better together as opposed to fighting against each
Yeah.
other? And I
I love
think that's like one of the things, and that's just one. That's
Yeah.
just one of the things that I think Sonder Coach, I go in, I forget sometimes to go in and reread my personality
Personality report.
profile,
Yeah.
which really is so helpful when I do that.
Yeah. I
It's
love
but
that.
yeah, that's probably it. One of those major
I
things.
love that. Corey, do you think that you would be able to articulate all these different modalities and be able to have the awareness of what you just described? Like you're combining things
Um,
without Sonder Coach?
I can say absolutely no freaking way. I mean, I love that over the course of my time with Silk and Sonder, I have taken so many of these, like when you did the social with Gretchen Rubin. So immediately that was where I found out I'm an obliger, which was
Yeah,
totally no surprise to me.
yeah, yeah,
Well, that one was an easy one. Um, Human design was new to me. Enneagram I'd been exploring for a while, but to be able to put all of these things together, I mean, I'd tried to do some of that by myself anyway. I'd done some research on Enneagram and lots of Myers-Briggs stuff and all kinds of, no way. There is
yeah,
no possible way I could have had the clarity and insight that came from just that paragraph, those few paragraphs that are at the top of the page
yeah,
that talk about all of these different things. So
yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for sharing. And someone in the chat was mentioning, oh, this is a pitch, not a celebration. Absolutely not. This is a celebration of Corey's progress. I mean, we are building something epic here at Silk and Sonder, and we are here to celebrate those people that are continuing to invest and explore and are willing to share and be vulnerable. So no, this is a celebration as well. So I had to address that in the chat. Corey, what's your favorite thing about the Sonder fam? Because I know you are so present everywhere, and you've told me there's nothing out there like this.
Oh, there's so not. I love the connection. Like I just love the connection. I love that we have the Sonder Club and which I've been absent from for a week and a half because I've been traveling.
Yes, you're taking
So
time for
y'all,
you.
I haven't ghosted anybody. I just have been, I literally got home this afternoon. Um,
And you're here. And
and
you're
I'm
here.
here. I'm here. I got home, I pulled into my garage at 4 o'clock this afternoon, Central Time. So, um, I love the Sonder Club. I love this connection. I love that these women are so supportive and so kind and so just so willing to support and help each other. People will get in and they'll say, "I'm so sorry I'm whining," or I just need a place to vent or whatever. But no one ever comes in and says, "Well, why did you do that?" Everybody always comes in and says, "We're here for you. This is why we're here." And with the chat in socials, which man, this chat is like just flying. And so I've missed about 90% of it tonight. Um, but there's just this is where I go from, I don't even hardly go on social media anymore. I don't spend time on Instagram. I rarely am on Facebook, but Sonder Club is where I come to get that positive, wonderful uplift.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And Corey, do you mind if I just share a little bit about your story and the fact that, yes, you're very positive, but you did come at a very vulnerable point in your life, right?
Oh, yeah. I joined my first journal was March 2023. My youngest son was killed in a motorcycle accident in October 2022. I had, yeah, just that whole, I mean, I can't even describe if
You,
I just
yeah,
can't even describe. He was 26 when he died. And that came on the heels of in October 2020, my husband had a cardiac arrest and spent 10 weeks in the hospital. And then many of you know that in February of last year, he had another cardiac arrest that he didn't survive and he passed. So it's been a pretty rough 5 years at my
yeah.
house. Five
Yeah,
coming on 6 years.
I just wanted the Sonder fam to hear that. Thank you for being so open and vulnerable. But I think it's so easy to see someone with all this incredible growth and so much positivity, and you're just lighting up everybody. I mean, there's so much love for you in the chat because people know you and they're excited to see you live. But you know, it hasn't been easy. And I'm so
Mm-mm.
grateful that Silk and Sonder has been a part of your journey because when I started this business, I thought I was building a productivity tool. I did not know that I was helping women through these types of transitions. And it's women like you that inspire me every day because God forbid, when I have to go through my own grief journey, I know I can call Corey because Corey's been through it. And she's, you know, had Silk and Sonder to help and many other tools. But I think that is something that I really, really cherish about the Sonder fam because you guys are all so vulnerable and you come here during chapters that are, for most people, very difficult to survive. So thank you. Last question, and I'll let you go. For
Yeah.
anyone who is on the fence, many folks are already members of regular Silk and Sonder, just like you were, but are on the fence of joining Sonder Coach. Is there any tip or piece of advice? They've already heard everything from me. Anything that you'd like to share with them?
So I joined Sonder Coach fairly quickly after it came out.
Hmm.
Um, and it's kind of gone up and down.
Hmm.
And then a few weeks ago, I realized that the process now you have this personalized onboarding, which is so cool.
Yeah,
And I'm
used
like,
it.
I'm so far back there that, I'm like, it's been going forever. I'm like, I'll bet I could probably find some new ways to use this. And it kind of goes just like our journal usage goes up and down. Sonder Coach use goes up and down for me as
Yes.
well.
Yep.
So, sometimes I lean more heavily into it, sometimes not as much. I am a daily person. Now I know that like Bailey gets I think once a week
Week. Yeah.
text from Jenny, but I'm a daily. I want that text daily, even if
Yeah.
I don't get it till the end of the day. I love to catch that and have this little moment of just these positive little
Yeah.
things. I love the journal. I love the new journaling prompts as well as, the
Yeah.
other ones are getting better.
Yeah.
Affirmations are one of my favorites, but even if I only open the link and I read the daily mantra, I'm done.
Yeah.
It just
I
makes
love
it
that.
just makes me happy. It's such a great thing, and it's been really fun since I've been traveling. I left on the 11th of July and got home today, so I've been
Yeah.
all throughout.
Yeah.
And I a few times over the course of my trip, I would pop into my coach and I would just chat with Jenny and say, here's where I am today, and this is what I'm doing, and
Yeah.
this is what's happened. And it's just been super, super cool
Yeah.
to have that
Support.
support and just have
Yeah.
that ability to lean on. I use her all
Yeah.
the time to
I
like set
love
my
it.
intentions and stuff, like
Yeah.
every month. So
Amazing. So I think you've heard it from Corey and you heard it from some of the other stories that I read. If you're on the fence, there's literally nothing to lose and everything to gain by just joining because you can always pause or you can stop if it doesn't work for you. But Corey's on it. So many people have seen benefits from it. And again, just treat it as another tool in your tool belt, right? You don't need to be the master of everything right away. You're not going to touch everything right away. Just get curious and learn to fall in love with your real self because that is how we can still stand here smiling with everything that we all have to go through. So, Corey, thank you so much for joining us here. I know it's late over there, but thank you for being such an amazing part of the Sonder fam. I'm so grateful to have you here.
thank you for putting together the Sonder
For sure.
Fam.
That's true. I
And
forget. Sometimes I forget that
thank,
I helped
thank
do
you. Thank you for
that.
that. Because if if you hadn't created it, I wouldn't be here today
Oh,
either.
I'm
And
crying.
I no, really, truly, the Sonder Fam is a huge, huge part of my life, and I love it. And
Oh,
I see Carly is posting, I'm a hyper independent person. 100% Carly. I am toxically independent. Had to be because of multiple traumas early. And so, yeah, yeah. But I find that I kind of feel that way a little bit about Sonder Coach once in a while.
yeah.
I'm like, I tend to pull back, but then I'm like, why? Why should I pull back? I'm
Yeah.
never going to get a no. I
Yeah.
am never going to get a no from Jenny. And
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh my God. Oh, I got chills. Amazing. Well, thank you, Corey. And I will see you in Sonder Club. And if anyone can give Corey a shout in Sonder Club tonight for being so brave and vulnerable and being put on the spot and answering all my questions, please do so. And welcome back from your vacation.
Thank you. Thank
Yay. Thanks for
you.
Thanks for coming on, Corey. We love to see you.
Oh, thank you, Maya. I love to see you guys too.
All right, Maya, we can bring up our last couple of slides. Thank you, Corey.
Get
All right, so
those.
I know we're at time, but we still have several of you hanging out.
We still
And
have 100 people hanging out.
yeah, hanging
So
out. Well, we have, I mean, I have more to share. So I couldn't go through the entire product, and you heard Corey rattle off a bunch of features too that we didn't even get to look at. But everything that Sonder Coach has is right here, and it by itself for the first month alone, it's valued over $3,000, but you're getting it for not even $100, $49 a month. You are worth it. Like I said, this is less than a cup of coffee a day. This is less than a dinner out. You are worth it. Your complete self-portrait, it's built because we weren't just trying to build something for Silk and Sonder. We were trying to put everything that has helped a woman understand herself in one place. So you're not there stitching it all together at 11 p.m., feeling like you're already behind, right? That is the problem that we've set out to solve. So you get your full self-portrait, all that stuff, your patterns, your personality, your saboteurs, etc. You get the white glove onboarding. So there are some of you that are like, oh, I didn't get to do my onboarding. Just email concierge. When you join, you get the one-on-one session with a real human on our team. We will go through your whole dashboard together so you can get the most out of the program. Masterclass library and a bunch of deep reflection exercises. These do include, I saw there were some questions around Gretchen Rubin's social that we did a long time ago. Yes, that is in there, along with Enneagram coaches, positive intelligence, a lot of the people that actually don't do one-on-one sessions. I was able to bring them on and have these amazing lessons. So you're again learning from real humans in that. I think that by itself, yeah, it's $1,000 of value. 24/7 life stylist available anytime, your daily personalized plans, which you can customize, feedback on your journaling pages, either what to write in it if it's blank, or feedback on what you wrote down. Emotional health score, and then as of next week, I might change my mind on it, but as of now, if you're grandfathered in, you are going to get unlimited. Sorry, no, let me rephrase that. As of now, you when we launch relationship readings, new members may not get unlimited. You will. If you are on the grandfathered price, you will get unlimited relationship readings. And then, of course, the more we know about people in your life, the more we can customize your conversations with your life stylist because we know things come up. And then you're also going to get 9 lifetime bonuses that my team put together if you join today in the next 24 hours. If you don't join in the next couple of hours, you're probably going to come up with an excuse on not to join within the 24 hours. So just do it. If you're leaning in, lean all the way in the same way I have demonstrated the value of Silk and Sonder through our journals. I promise you, my commitment to you is that this is not going to disappoint and you get to co-create this with me. All right, next slide. The only way to lose is to not show up. Okay? You try Sonder Coach for 30 days. You use your report, you use your plans, you try chatting with your coach, you do your daily check-ins. If it's not working for you, you email us and we'll refund you. Okay? It hasn't happened before. And I'm so confident that you're going to love it. But if that's what's going to help you invest in yourself, I want you to hear it. Okay? The only way this doesn't work is if you don't show up for yourself. And you already showed up tonight. So I'll just leave that there. All right. One more thing. I already talked about this, so we can skip over it. If you are interested in any of our products, so if those of you who are still hanging out, where you aren't yet a member of the journal, you don't need the journal to join Sonder Coach. But if you want to take a more actionable piece in your self-care journey, all of our analog products, including the monthly, quarterly, and annual subscriptions, are 10% off. If you want to buy this for a spouse or a friend or a colleague, you can also use this code for 10% off. If you want to buy the Life Workbook, a Sonder Kids Journal, you can also use the 10% off. Okay? The more you invest in yourself, across these different types of offerings, the more you're going to experience the value. And I just want to leave it here. I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. You show up better for your family, your friends, your colleagues, your neighbors, your communities, the world at large. You show up better for them when you show up for yourself, right? I want you to think about that pledge, and I want you to remember that. And I want you to ask yourself, how are you showing up for yourself? And how can you make it easier to find yourself again? Find the real version of you that helps you feel all those freeing feelings that we listed. All right. Okay. Let's ground in at the end. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. It's the end of the year, less than 6 months from now. The year is done. You wake up and something feels different. Not perfect, maybe, but different. Lighter, freer, more like you. I want you to think back to July 22nd, tonight, the day where you signed the summer pledge. You listened to me, you listened to Corey, you watched the demo, you were wowed by the relationship readings. You were on the fence because you're already exhausted. This is another thing on your list. You're a little tired, but you're hopeful. And you're wondering, if you invest in yourself, would it be different? And at the end of the year, you're sitting there because it is. Because this time you decided to double down on your investment in yourself. You decided to give Sonder Coach or another product a try. Maybe you decided to finally join the Sonder Fam event officially because you wanted clarity. You wanted clarity into who you are, how you operate, why you get angry, why you get sad. And then everything shifted. You started approaching your goals differently, your habits differently, your relationships differently, in a completely new way, in a way that actually aligned with how you are energetically wired. Not somebody else's system, not what everyone says in a book, not generic advice built from someone else's brain or from large language models that are just taking Tom, Dick, and Harry and telling you what to do. Yours. And things suddenly started to make more sense. Things started to come easier. The beliefs that you'd been carrying for so long started to feel less heavy. You stopped relying on everyone else and you started to look internally because you have always had the answers within you. You're spending less time analyzing. You're spending more time feeling joyful and playful. You're radiant. You're yourself. Now, when I ask that question, how do I feel more like myself? You have a starting point because you already know how it feels. How would that change things for you? Knowing that this is the feeling that you're anchored in at the end of the year. Okay, I want you to open your eyes and just share in the chat what came up. Excuse me. All right. For me, I've been doing this work. People often see me as the expert. I do the work alongside of you. I am getting tested in new ways as a mom with a daughter that's a manifesting generator and 6'2" profile and emotional authority. She is testing me in beautiful, profound ways that is exhausting and depleting. I love her to pieces, but it's new. It's a new experience. But because I have the awareness and I have the system to help me understand these patterns, I can ask for help from my husband when I need him to step in. He's stepping in right now. I was supposed to be at dinner, but he's got it, right? Life is going to throw us lemons all the time, right? We don't always have to make lemonade, but we should be able to bounce back up. People talk about cost oftentimes, whether it's $49 or $149. which by the way, that is the price that it would go up to, but our team is pretty generous with these things. So if you have a financial situation, don't worry about it. Just email us. We'll meet you where you're at. I think price always comes up, and I always ask people, is it the price really, or is it the cost? Is it when we're talking money, is it the price of what it's going to cost you to understand yourself, or is it the cost of not ever knowing who you actually are, not ever getting what you actually want? Because to me, that cost is much greater. I want all of us to thrive because if we all thrive, we help each other. Great. I think that's it. I think the last slide is just a reminder that nothing changes unless you do. I've had to learn this the hard way. I continue to learn this the hard way when things don't work for me. Sometimes the modality just stops working, right? That's what makes Sonder Coach so exciting, is that we get to experience new things all the time because we're constantly building. And so there's novelty baked in. That's why Silk and Sonder works. You get a fresh month start. You get new prompts, you get new rituals, you get new Sonder socials, new events, but nothing changes unless you do. And you deserve the personal trainer. You deserve, the gym if you're not yet part of the gym, but invest in you because there is so much research out there that supports that the mind's longevity is linked to having a sense of purpose and belonging. Both of which, Silk and Sonder, I can tell you can take my, I don't know about the disclaimers here, like don't come at me later, but if you actually show up, you will 100% see progress in those areas. And loneliness is killing our entire society, left and right. It's the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. I want to change that. I want to change that for you, and I want to change that for everyone around you. And so join Sonder Coach, join regular Silk and Sonder if you haven't yet, because that is how we actually live not just a long life, but a more fulfilling life. All right. I feel like I gave a whole TED talk. I should probably
I would say maybe you should
maybe
record. Do
I should do that. Someone
well,
nominate me.
I saw lots of folks signing up in the chat. I saw some folks saying they signed up and now they feel a little overwhelmed. Is there a quick start guide, or what should they
Hey.
do? Or
What did I say in the beginning? What did I say in the beginning? I had a whole talking point. Overwhelm is good. It feels uncomfortable because that is your nervous system fighting itself that, holy shit, you just did something new. I don't know what to expect. Oh my, will I do it right? Oh my God. Those are all your patterns. If you feel overwhelmed, that is a good sign. That is actually the more overwhelmed you feel, the bigger transformation you're going to get from all of this, right? But in practical terms, don't feel overwhelmed. You'll get an email from me. You don't have to do it right away. I'm not grading you. I'm not checking how quickly you do everything. Um, if you feel super overwhelmed, just chip at it, like just do, it's like they're fun. If you can take, a word of the year quiz, or if you can take a what's overwhelming me quiz, you can definitely take all of these assessments. Don't overthink it. Do what comes from the gut. And from there, you're going to book your onboarding call. Everything's going to be okay. You have a human to talk to. You have plenty of people who use Silk and Sonder Coach to talk to. So, if you feel overwhelmed, honor it. Know that you're a badass. You're doing something that's going to require change. And most people don't do that. They'd rather live in their crappy life today than feel overwhelmed for a little bit and then feel like they're thriving. So that's my kind of like meta mindset lecture. But on a practical level, there is like plenty of stuff that you can look at. I think there's probably also like videos on how to use different parts, but you won't get access to anything until you do your onboarding. So just one step at a time, baby step at a
yep,
time.
yep. So you sign up, you'll get an email, you sign up for your onboarding, you do some assessments, like
You
it
should
take
get
a
an
deep
email from
breath.
me. Like
Yes.
check that. That's the first, you should get that immediately. So if you haven't gotten that, email concierge@siliconseller.com. But the email from me kind of has step by step on what you need to do.
Yep.
Great. And
All
Ellen, I
right.
want to be your friend too. I want to be everyone's friend. I'm telling you, we're gonna do a retreat in 2027. I've already talked to a couple of folks, but I need you guys to plan it, and I want it to be like Meha easy. Like it just needs to have a level of like
Well, just
vibe.
just just so you know, that's my goal for next year. I've already been talking
Is
to
that what
several
you've been manifesting?
locations.
Is that what
Yeah,
you've been
yes.
manifesting? I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Amazing. We should chat, Maya, because
So yes, I've got lots of location ideas and I've got stuff I'm planning stuff out. I'm like making a whole little prospectus to give to you,
oh
see
my
what
God, I
you
can't
think.
wait.
Yep,
Can
yep.
we give it up for Maya? Maya holds down the fort for all the community stuff. She is doing pen pal and book club. She's doing this super secret project summit, knowing that Meha is a hyperachiever with a vibe that she's gonna have to impress. So that's kudos to Maya. She's doing this because she cares about the Sonder fam. She loves it. She's a user of Silk and Sonder. Maya's a fucking rock star. I said it. I said
Oh,
the first word, and I don't
no,
care.
it's late.
Let's go. She is our token representative of human connection here at Silk and Sonder. So I'm looking forward to it, Maya. You
Yep,
know
yep.
me. Um,
2027. Here we go.
Great. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you all for joining. Thank you for going over. Thank you for listening to the lecture. I believe so deeply with what we're building at Silk and Sonder. There have been plenty of opportunities where I could have just walked away, and I haven't. And all I care about is that all of you fall in love with yourself every single day because I am done with patterns repeating themselves century after century. I'm the first woman in my lineage who gets to choose, who actually has agency of her life. I want that for all of us. And the best way to do that is to understand yourself. And everyone deserves a shortcut, including me, which is why I built all this stuff for you. So thank you for joining. Thank you for hanging out late. And I will see you all in Sonder Club.
Night.
Sun's up, it's a little after 12. Make breakfast for myself, leave the work for someone else.